A lot of people have asked me how to make water kefir, and it's actually really easy to do. Here are the basic things that you need to get started. Keeping in mind that I actually make what might be called a double batch. When I started making, I started doing quart quantity, so 4 cups at a time. I now make half-gallon quantities at a time because my water kefir crystals have multiplied. So here we go. This is pretty easy. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start heating up a little bit of spring water. That's the white jug you see in the back next to the apple cider. I'm going to throw it into my kettle and just take the chill off of it. Just 1 second. Okay, so I've actually just heated up the water until probably, as you can see, I can touch it. It's probably between 70 and 80 degrees. I'm going to throw a cup of turbinado. This one's turbinado. It's raw sugar. Still has the maple in it, the molasses in it, so it's a little raw, or it's less processed than table sugar or other sugar that you get. Okay, so you can see I've got a cup of turbinado in that half-gallon jar, and now I'm going to pour in my warmed up water. Just took the 4-cup mark on the half-gallon jar. And all I'm doing is actually helping to make sure that that turbinado breaks down a little faster. I want it to dissolve a bit. It doesn't have to be completely dissolved, but I like to make sure the big chunks are gone. So I stir it up a bit. The important thing to know here is that you want your temperature of the sugar water to be between 68 and 86 degrees. Any colder, it's going to not really be active for the probiotic colony. Any hotter, you're going to kill it off. So you want to stay in that moderate temperature range. The quality of the water is really important too. Don't use tap water. You don't want anything that's chlorinated or has additional chemicals in it. We drive out to a spring on the way to the coast and are able to get spring water that's at a protected source for free, which is kind of nice. Plus it's a nice drive. So water is important. Okay, so now I'm just gonna fill the balance of this up to the fill line on the half-gallon jar, which is, oops, I don't have enough. I gotta go grab some more. 1 second. Okay, extra bottle. Okay, so we're going to that fill line on that half-gallon jar right about there. We need to leave ourselves some extra room for the additives that we put in. Alrighty. Then I'm just gonna give it another stir. And I can pretty much tell by touch that it's the right temperature. But if you are worried about that, I have a dairy thermometer. It floats. It's kind of nice. Stick it in there for a second. And it's going to tell you what the temperature comes back at. So I'm right at about 78-ish. Which is perfect. So that's the basis of the first ferment. Now we're going to work on the second ferment. This is my second half-gallon jar in the process when I'm working on that. And I'm going to start, I'm actually going to use 2 cups of apple juice. And this is the good stuff. We get it at the local kind of health food store kind of place. It's called Market of Choice. But you're looking for something that's not from concentrate. It's 100% fruit juice and is not sweetened. So you're looking for the natural stuff. And we're just going to go up to the 2-cup mark on the jar. Just a smidge more. There we go. Perfect. The rest of this is going to go into the fridge. Okay, so this is my first ferment from 2 days ago. It's a half-gallon jar. It's got that sugar water, and I actually have some raisins in there that are unsulfured to be an additional yeast, an additional food source for the probiotic colony. I usually use lemons, but I was out, so I used raisins. So hold on a second. I need 2 hands to open this jar. 1 second. As you can see, it's pretty effervescent. This is just me taking the lid off, and oxygen getting released, it's pretty bubbly. So I'm just gonna pull out those raisins. And I use a non-metal spoon to do that. And I'm gonna make sure that I don't get any kefir grains in with this. They like to come and hang out with the raisins. And you can see the raisins have plumped way back up. So there's a little kefir grain in there. I don't know if you can see that little white blob that's floating around. That's a kefir grain. So I'm not gonna get rid of it. I want it to stay. So the cool thing about kefir grains is that you buy them once or get them from a friend, and they basically can last you forever. In fact, I bought mine last July and they have multiplied many times. In fact, I have some in stasis in the fridge that I continue to feed for either to sell to people, give away, or to multiply my production. All right, so now you can see all of my raisins are out. There is my first ferment. It's kind of bubbly. You can see a few kefir grains floating around in there. And now to my fruit juice that I just put in there, my apple juice. This is my non-metal strainer that I'm going to use. Let's see if my hands are strong enough for this. So I'm going to strain the first ferment into the fruit juice to make a second ferment. And it's pretty full. You can see it's a little bit fizzy. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to put a canning jar lid on it. Some people say not to. I do. I just burp it once a day, and that keeps it effervescent and keeps bugs out of it because they're attracted to the smells of the fruit juice and the ferment. So one second, I'm going to hunt down a lid. Okay, so that's my second ferment that's flavored. I was right, the flavor of the apple juice, the flavor of the fruit juice that I'm putting in, the date, and then in 3 days it's going to go into the fridge and it's going to be very bubbly. And of course every day I am burping it so that too much fermentation doesn't happen. So I have my little place over here where I put my ferments. Here's my cherry from a couple days ago. It's going to go in the fridge tonight. Let me see if I can burp it. I wish you could smell it. It smells really good. But you can see it's pretty effervescent. It's great. Yummy stuff. Okay. There are my ferments that are going right now. So now to finish up for that first ferment, I'm actually going to strain out the majority of that extra juice that I had left over that I added to the fruit juice a little while ago. You can see there's little bits of raisin still in that water kefir grain. Can you see those grains? They're just kind of like little gelatinous, probiotic-y kind of goodness there. Those little bits of raisin will just eventually break down. It's no big deal. They feed the probiotic colony there. Okay. Let me go grab some raisin 1 second. Okay, so I've got the, that's the probiotic, the water kefir grain that's still left over from the juice that I just drained out of it. And then this is that first ferment, that sugar water that we did a little while ago. It's been sitting there, just chilling. I'm just going to stir it one more time. And it's going to go in with my grains. And I switch out for a new jar every 3 or 4 times. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you. Some people are really like superstitious about never cleaning your jar. I'm not that person. So let's see here. There's that. Now I'm gonna take a lemon. All right, so I'm gonna grab my lemon, take the lovely commercial sticker off of it. Just gonna rinse it real quickly in my dirty sink. Got dishes that need done. And I'm just gonna cut it in half. Pop. Okay, so there's my lemon. I just took the seeds that were right at the surface off. And I'm just gonna put this straight in with that first ferment. It's gonna be really full. And the lid's gonna go on. And this is gonna stay at room temperature for 2 days. And I do burp it. And then we'll go on to that second ferment process. Pretty much that's it. That's all it takes to make water kefir. It takes me probably less than 10 minutes total. And then once you've gone through that 3-day on the counter second ferment, you're ready to drink it. And it's fruity and bubbly and yummy, but it's not really super high sugar because that probiotic colony that has populated the liquid has consumed the sugars. And it's great for your gut. So you start out drinking just an ounce or 2 a day to start with. Then you work your way up. Last July I started doing an ounce a day. Today I drink probably 18 to 20 ounces at bedtime. So they say before you go to bed is the best time to do it. It's great for your gut. It helps everything heal up in that gut. So there's my half gallon of first ferment ready to be dealt with in 2 more days. Any questions? Let me know. Thanks. Bye. So here we are. Me getting ready to go to bed. And here is my water kefir that I'm going to drink. This is on the 22nd of the month. It's done its first ferment for 2 days, its second ferment for 3 days. It's been in the fridge just chilling out, and I'm going to pour it in just a sec. As you can see, it's got a bit of a head on it. And it tastes delicious. So that's my water kefir for tonight.